This HA tyrant thought she could forge an arrest warrant and get away with it. The catch? She faked my signature and I'm the sheriff who signs the real ones. She set up a sham courtroom, handed out fake fines, and even tried to have me arrested, until her whole scheme collapsed spectacularly on live TV. You won't believe how far she took it before it all blew up in her face. Let us know in the comments where you're watching from, especially if your neighborhood has ever dealt with a control freak like this. And if you enjoy wild tales where justice prevails, hit that like button and subscribe for more HOA madness. Linda Harper was the kind of HOA president who thought her clipboard outdrank the Constitution. She strutted through the neighborhood like a self-proclaimed queen, issuing citations for fence colors clashing with seasonal VY bests or wind chimes disrupting ambient peace. Most residents put up with her antics, figuring she just needed a hobby or a shrink. But when she slapped a warning on my mailbox about a vehicle parked with unjustified authority, I knew trouble was brewing. The vehicle? My marked sheriff's cruiser, sitting in my own driveway after a 14-hour shift. At first, I laughed it off as a mistake, maybe one of her usual power trips. But the citation wasn't just a note. It was a fancy document with fake municipal seals and a due law 300 fine payable to HOA discretionary funds. That's when I realized Linda wasn't just annoying, she was delusional. I decided to give her an out, leaving a polite sticky note. This is an official law enforcement vehicle, ma'am. Please don't impersonate legal authority. Most people would have backed off. Linda. Not a chance. The next morning, she showed up at my door in a blazer and heels, looking like she was auditioning for a suburban courtroom drama, clutching a clipboard and an envelope marked urgent legal matter. Sheriff Daniels, she said with fake sweetness, you're in violation of Section 9B of the HOA Vehicle Uniformity Ordinance. This is your final warning. I blinked. Linda, you know I'm the sheriff, right? She smirked. Exactly. You should know better. I was half convinced said she slept with the legal dictionary and dreamed of being a vigilante judge. File a complaint with the county clerk, not my porch, I said calmly. She grinned like a cartoon VY Lane. Oh, I've requested enforcement action. As she strutted off, I knew she'd overplayed her hand. That afternoon, neighbors started texting me. Linda had sent an email blast accusing me of using my badge to bully HOA leadership and ignore community standards. One neighbor forwarded its subject line. Urgent. Lawlessness in our lawns. I laughed, but it got weirder. Attached was a blurry photo of my cruiser with enforcement ignored photoshopped in red, plus a fake quote she claimed was from the HOA bylaws. No citizen, badge or not, is exempt from the aesthetic code. I checked the charter, no such rule existed. She was making it up. Then a neighbor caught her snooping in my driveway, measuring my cruiser's wheelbase against lawn encroachment standards. When I confronted her, she said, "This is a citizen's inspection. I'm protecting neighborhood integrity." With a tape measure? I asked. She nodded, dead serious. EVY Denke matters. I could have stopped her, but I let her keep digging. I smiled, praised her dedication, and started gathering my own EVY Denke. When someone this obsessed with fake power crosses someone with real authority, it's only a matter of time before it backfires. Linda's next move was outright unhinged. A week later, I got a manila envelope in my county mailbox labeled Warrant. Urgent response required. I've seen plenty of sloppy forgeries, but this was next-level amateur, typed in Microsoft Word with a seal that misspelled county as county and my name, Sheriff Tom Daniels, authorizing my own arrest for obstructing HOA peace. She'd lost it. I showed it to my deputy Sarah, who said, "Did a toddler with a printer make this?" I laughed, but forgery with intent to intimidate a public official? That's a felony here. I didn't confront her, yet he wanted more. My cyber-savvy deputy, Jake, dug into the HOA email server and found gold. Linda had sent fake incident reports with police logos and bogus complaint numbers, including one claiming I'd threatened her safety with my badge. Jake choked on his coffee. She wrote this like a bad cop show script. She was also hosting Zoom calls titled Neighborhood vs. Sheriff, a community under siege, rallying residents with lines like, "No man is above the HOA." A few neighbors tipped me off, saying her meetings felt like a cult, one even made them recite an HOA oath. I joined the next Zoom undercover as Tim J. Homeowner and watched the madness unfold. Linda stood before an American flag, wearing a fake HOA enforcement chief badge, speaking into a karaoke mic. We face tyranny from one man who thinks his badge trumps lawn guidelines, she declared, unveiling a PowerPoint, Operation HOA Freedom. One slide had a pie chart blaming me for 68 fan-tram of community threats. Another compared my cruiser to militarized conflict zones. Then she played a slow-mo video of my parked cruiser set to violin music, calling it an invasion of Oakwood Estates. She ended with, "This is our Alamo," and revealed her plan to drop the fake warrant in my department's complaint box, hoping someone brave would enforce it. Jake hit pause. She's a cartoon violin with HOA dues. The next morning, I cited her Halcino uniform, just me with a clipboard. She smirked. "Here to apologize?" "No," I said, handing her a notice. "Unlawful signage, impersonating an officer, and fake legal documents." Her smugness faded. "That's ridiculous," she snapped. "I can document violations, especially yours." I nodded. "But you can't invent crimes or forge my signature." "That's a felony, Linda." She hissed. "You don't scare me." I smiled. "I don't need to. One more step and you're facing the state." I left her speechless for once. But the real bombshell? Linda had turned her garage into a fake courtroom, complete with folding chairs, a whiteboard labeled HOA versus Sheriff Daniels, and a podium. A new resident stumbled in, thinking it was a yard sale, and snapped photos of a plastic gavel, laminated, court rules, and my headshot pinned as defendant. She sent them to my office anonymously. I drove by later and saw for HOA members in lawn chairs, Linda at the podium with a yardstick ranting, "Sheriff Daniels disrupted aesthetic harmony." One juror asked, "Isn't he allowed to park there?" Linda snapped, "This is a trial, Susan, not a debate." She even wore a graduation robe and made attendees stand when she entered. Flyers went out, community trial, final verdict, with no cameras, sovereign HOA proceeding, and fine print. She called it the Linda Court. I was tempted to shut it down, but curiosity won. Then Deputy Sarah dropped a file on my desk. Linda used to be a legal secretary, property disputes. Not a lawyer, just enough jargon to fake it. Her old boss got a restraining order after she tried reviewing verdicts in robes. It clicked. She wasn't new to this. I decided to crash her verdict day not as a defendant, but as Sheriff Tom Daniels in full uniform, bringing real law to her fantasy. I tape a note to her door, "See you in Courtrill Court." Linda's empire crumbled that day. I arrived early, uniform on, watching her squirm as I stood by her folding chairs. "Sheriff Daniels," she stammered, "you weren't summoned." "No need," I said. "Just ensuring no laws break during your playtime." 20 residents showed up, mostly for the spectacle. Linda banged her gavel, yelling, "We judge Sheriff Daniels' unbecoming conduct." She pointed to a chalkboard with my cruiser on one side of justice scales and a wilted plant on the other, claiming it caused dog panic incidents. Board member Greg stood up. "This is too far, Linda." The room shifted. "You forged documents, misused funds." Carol, another member, added, "This isn't a court, it's a chair under a ceiling fan with a rubber spider." I stepped in. "Fraud, impersonation, incitement, it's over, Linda." She scoffed. "You can't arrest me at a meeting." "You made it a court," I said. "Your rules." Carol held up emergency motion papers. "You're out as president unanimous." Applause erupted. Linda ripped off her robe and stormed out, leaving her gavel behind. An audit revealed she'd siphoned DULA 14,000 fake committees, robes, a printer for citations. We pressed charges: fraud, forgery, embezzlement. Then came her live TV meltdown. On air, she slammed a new fake warrant on the desk, yelling, "This is my counter warrant." I said, "You just forged it live." The feed cut, but clips went viral. She got 6 months in jail, DULA 14,000 restitution, and a lifetime HOA ban. In prison, Linda tried running a cell block HOA, issuing toilet paper rules until guards shut it down. Back home, we passed the Linda Amendment: no solo power, transparent funds, no fake badges. At a gala, reformed Linda presented us an award for Most Improved Governance, admitting, "You stopped me." Her reign ended, but her legend lives in our clubhouse, framed warrants and all.